Ultra-processed foods are everywhere, and the price and taste makes it hard for us not to consume it. All of these popular companies are all considered ultra-processed foods, and chances are you consume them frequently. But what if I told you these do more than affect your weight and energy? What if I told you these affect and damage your brain's health? Hello, my name is Pablo Guattari, and I will be presenting ultra-processed foods and Alzheimer's. So my research question was, in what ways can consuming ultra-processed foods during high school years lead to the Alzheimer's disease? And ultra-processed foods leads to brain inflammation, it negatively impacts brain function, and it leads to diabetes, which then increases the risk of Alzheimer's. The solution I will be presenting later on is implementing a Mediterranean diet, which is mainly composed of vegetables, seafoods, and grains, as well as natural fats. So what is Alzheimer's? According to the College Board provided stimulus, Alzheimer's is the most common cause of dementia. It is caused by damage to the neurons, which are essential to all human activity like thinking, talking, and walking. The neurons damaged first are responsible for memory and thinking. That is why the first symptoms tend to be memory problems. As you can see in this image by Harvard Health, it shows two sides of a brain, one without Alzheimer's and one with Alzheimer's. This one doesn't have plaques in neurons, which means they're healthy neurons. And this one over here, it's unhealthy neurons with plaques on them. What is ultra-processed foods? This video will briefly explain what ultra-processed foods are.
They make up around 60% of our diets. So what exactly are they? Well, there's no settled definition, but generally they contain ingredients not used in home cooking. But that's a wide range, from ready meals and pot noodles to even sliced bread and oat milk. Well, some studies have suggested there's a link between ultra-processed food and poor health. Well,
brain inflammation. The ingredients develop a response from the brain that can lead to brain inflammation. According to the American Heart Association, it states that the consumption of unhealthy diet high in saturated fats and sugars can trigger brain inflammation. It also states that numerous studies have found links between eating a high-fat diet, neuroinflammation, and cognitive impairment. As you can see in this image by Johns Hopkins Medicine, it shows different levels of brain inflammation. Over here, this one has less inflammation, and that one has a lot of inflammation. Brain function. According to Harvard, people who eat diets high in ultra-processed foods such as packaged cereals, frozen meals, and sweets have higher chance of feeling depressed and anxious. A study on neuroinflammation by Wenju Wang states that the immune system disruption has been implicated in anxiety disorders, with a majority of studies suggesting an increase in inflammatory response. As you can see in these graphs by a journal in MDPI, it shows different high school scores, and they all tend to decrease as there's more servings of ultra-processed foods a day. So diabetes and Alzheimer's. In a journal about the shared links between diabetes and Alzheimer's by Yunnan Sun, it states that abnormal glucose, lipid metabolism, and stress and protein changes resulting from diabetes are all associated with impaired insulin. These metabolic factors can increase the chances of Alzheimer's. According to the American Diabetes Association, it states that about 352,000 Americans under the age of 20 currently have diabetes. And in this graphic by Frontiers, you can see a person with obesity and diabetes. It leads to fat acids in the brain, which causes inflammation, and then it leads to Alzheimer's disease. My solution. Most people believe that Alzheimer's disease develops only in old age, but lifestyle choices early on in life, such as high school, can contribute. According to a study on molecular aspects of diet, it states that Mediterranean diet has been linked to improved cognitive skills, and that there was a reduction in the risk of dementia by 68.9% after every serving of fish per day. As you can see in this graphic by Conway Medical Center, As said before, the Mediterranean diet is mainly composed of grains, vegetables, natural fats, and fishes. And there's less sweets and red meats in the diet. And this image over here is a good example of what a Mediterranean diet looks like. Thank you.
All right, 2 questions I have for you. First up, how did your research question kind of evolve as you worked your way through the whole process? And did you like go in a completely different direction than you thought you were going to at the beginning?
At the beginning, my research question was on McDonald's specifically, and I wasn't able to find reliable information on McDonald's specifically, so I changed it to ultra-processed foods.
Okay. And what might be some real world implications of what you, or implications or consequences of what you found out with this whole paper?
Well, the consequences would be increase in dementia or Alzheimer's and obesity worldwide.